Boxing has always been one of my favorite sports, so I've enjoyed most things related to it all throughout my life. As a gamer, naturally that means I have a soft spot for Mike Tyson's Punch-Out!, one of the all-time great boxing games. Now, I didn't really play this when I was a kid because it was a little bit before my time, but I was always aware of it, and I did have Super Punch-Out! On the SNES when I was like 6, so I've gone back and played these games multiple times throughout the years, most recently through the Nintendo Switch Online service just so I could scratch that boxing itch, since EA won't drop another Fight Night and keeps giving us those mid-UFC games. So following this trend, I noticed that there was a bunch of games coming out inspired by Punch-Out!, the same way that there's tons of first-person shooter games that are coming out inspired by Doom. Chief among these was a recent release called Thunder Ray, which dropped back in September.
Hey, yo, Giant, let's go!
If you didn't already read the full title of this video, it's basically Punch-Out! If it was animated by Studio Trigger. And at that point, I was already sold. A lot of the fundamentals of the gameplay are exactly what you expect if you've ever played Punch-Out!, but the new enemy patterns, multiple special moves, and animation quality kept me hooked throughout my short time with the game. The story goes that Thunder Ray is an undefeated boxer who is ready to retire because in that One Punch Man way, he was just tired of being too good, man. But after what was supposed to be his retirement match with Javi Rico, aka this game's Glass Joe, he gets attacked out of the blue by an alien and zapped into an arena in space where he has to fight a bunch of extraterrestrial enemies, which I assume that he doesn't really object to because they don't really speak on it after he hops into the ring with, is that Bane? Whoa! A bunch of the character designs are interesting. There's this guy that looks like a cross between Glacius from Killer Instinct and Rio from King of Fighters, a Scott Pilgrim character, a Cuphead boss, Mr. Mixia Spitalik if you ordered him from Temu, and eventually the champion who looks like a common rider.
It looks like Rico has been modified into a super fighter.
Coach, that is not Rico, okay? That is Garlic Jr. After you piece out Rico one more time, you move on to the final fight with Master Zieglas, aka Cronenberg Atom Smasher.
Who the fuck are you?
I also like his voice. He does this thing where he does his best impression of the Lich from Adventure Time.
Fall.
Eventually you prevail, but then the narrator mentions that Thunder Ray is getting ready to square up with the guy who set all this up before hitting you with the credits. Yeah, this game is only 8 fights long, so that's a little deflating, but that promised confrontation is coming up in a future round of DLC fights, so I guess I can hold off on harsher judgment if I can get a few more fights. Still though, it's pretty solid for what it is. It has that classic feel since it really is just Punch-Out!, but I felt excited learning new patterns and seeing the wacky animations some of these guys employed. It gets surprisingly gory though. I get boxing is a blood sport, but finish one of these guys off with a super attack and you'll see them explode in a cloud of blood and guts while Ray is just sitting there with his shit-eating grin. I guess no one's gonna question the murder since this ain't in the Boxing Association's jurisdiction. Yay legalities. I don't know how much that future DLC is gonna be, but the game as is with its 8 fight is $15. Not a bad price for what it is, and I might follow up on this game in the future if the DLC fights are good. But for now, I had a fresh bit of fun. It ain't much though in all honesty. It took me a little over 2 hours to beat it the first time and only 45 minutes when I replayed it to record the footage for this video. So much like Thunder Ray's namesake, it's over in a flash. This was a shorter one, but I appreciate you taking the time out to watch this video all the same. I've got one more video I'm hoping to get out before the end of the year, and then we'll start planning next year's schedule, I guess. Next time we'll be taking a look at Like a Dragon Gaiden, the man who erased his name, which I've been very excited to talk about before Infinite Wealth drops at the end of January, and shout out to VGP for the physical copy. But all that comes later. For now, you know what it is? My name is Hector, and I'm one sleepy giant. I had a lot of fun, but I'm gonna take a nap. I'll talk to you guys later. Take care.